9 best breakfast foods every diabetic should eat. For people living with diabetes, breakfast isn't just another meal. It's a daily decision that may either support or sabotage your blood sugar for the rest of the day. If you've ever felt tired, foggy, or unusually hungry right after breakfast, your food choices might be the reason. In this video, I'll tell you the 9 best breakfast foods every diabetic should eat, and more importantly, why each of them helps your body. Also, always speak with your healthcare provider before making major changes to your diet, especially if you're managing a condition like diabetes. And don't go anywhere, stay tuned until the end, because I'll also reveal 5 breakfast foods every diabetic should avoid. Now, let's get started. 1. Steel-cut oats. Most people think oats are just another grain, but steel-cut oats work very differently in the body, especially if you're living with diabetes. Steel-cut oats contain a unique type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan, which is one of the most important components of these oats. Beta-glucan forms a thick gel in your digestive tract. This gel slows down the movement of food from your stomach into your small intestine. As a result, sugar is released into your bloodstream at a much slower pace, but that's not all. This same fiber also signals your body to release hormones that support insulin sensitivity. In other words, beta-glucan doesn't just delay sugar spikes, it helps your cells use insulin more effectively. Moreover, manganese, another essential component, is a trace mineral often overlooked but crucial for glucose metabolism. Manganese activates enzymes that help your cells process carbs and turn them into usable energy instead of letting that sugar hang around in your bloodstream. For people with type 2 diabetes, who often struggle with insulin resistance, this mineral supports better cellular function where it matters most. According to research, oats intake significantly improved blood sugar control and lipid levels in type 2 diabetes, reducing hemoglobin A1C, but fasting glucose and total cholesterol. It also lowered post-meal glucose and insulin spikes compared to control meals. The ideal serving size for dry steel-cut oats is approximately half a cup. It gives you the full benefit without overloading on carbs. Add in water or unsweetened almond milk, a pinch of cinnamon, and maybe a few chopped nuts, and you've got a breakfast that fuels your morning and protects your blood sugar. 2. Boiled eggs. Many breakfast foods can cause fluctuations in your blood glucose levels, but boiled eggs provide a more consistent and regulated effect. Eggs contain choline, a nutrient that plays a key role in liver function and fat metabolism. For diabetics, this matters more than you might think. The liver is heavily involved in glucose regulation, and when it's not working efficiently, like in fatty liver disease or insulin resistance, it may flood the blood with excess sugar. Choline helps support liver health, allowing for smoother glucose storage and release, which means fewer surprises in your blood sugar readings after meals. Then there's lutein, a carotenoid found in the yolk that's better known for supporting eye health. But in the context of diabetes, it's especially important. High blood sugar over time may damage the small blood vessels in your eyes, leading to conditions like diabetic retinopathy. Lutein helps protect those vessels by neutralizing oxidative stress, offering a natural line of defense against vision loss, something too many diabetics face unnecessarily. A suitable portion size for breakfast would be 2 boiled eggs, which give you just the right amount of protein and nutrients without going overboard. According to research, a long-term study in older adults found no significant link between egg consumption or dietary cholesterol and the development of type 2 diabetes. Even daily egg intake showed no major impact on glucose or insulin levels, suggesting moderate egg consumption may not raise diabetes risk. 3. Chia seeds. Chia seeds have the potential to significantly impact blood sugar management despite their small size. Alpha-linolenic acid, which is derived from plants and is an omega-3 fatty acid, is one of the powerful components that may be found within chia seeds. For people with diabetes, this type of fat supports cardiovascular health by improving the flexibility of blood vessels and reducing inflammation in artery walls. That's huge, because diabetes increases the risk of heart disease, and inflammation is often the starting point for vascular damage. What ALA does is help reduce that damage before it starts, improving circulation and protecting your heart from long-term complications. Furthermore, chia seeds are also packed with magnesium, a mineral that's deeply involved in how your cells respond to insulin. Magnesium helps activate certain enzymes that move glucose out of the blood and into the cells, where it's used for energy. Low magnesium levels are surprisingly common in people with type 2 diabetes, and that deficiency makes it harder for insulin to do its job. So when you add chia seeds to your breakfast, you're giving your body tools to help reduce insulin resistance from the cellular level. According to ResearchGate, both black and white chia seeds significantly reduced fasting blood glucose and improved lipid profiles and liver enzyme levels in diabetic animals. A practical serving size is about 1 tablespoon per day, which you may easily mix into oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothies. Let them soak for a few minutes so they develop that gel-like consistency. That's when they're most effective. 4. Greek yogurt unsweetened. When you strip away the added sugars and focus on the natural form, Greek yogurt becomes a powerhouse for blood sugar control and gut health. It has a thick, creamy texture, along with a high concentration of probiotics. These are live beneficial bacteria that help rebalance the gut microbiome, which plays a surprisingly direct role in blood sugar regulation. A more diverse and balanced gut environment supports the release of short-chain fatty acids that improve how your cells respond to insulin. This helps reduce those stubborn post-meal spikes and supports better long-term glucose control, something especially important for people with type 2 diabetes who struggle with insulin resistance on a daily basis. In addition to its role in bone support, calcium is an essential component that has many other applications. In people with diabetes, calcium is essential for proper signaling between cells, particularly those involved in insulin release. Your pancreas depends on calcium to trigger the release of insulin at the right time. Without enough, that communication slows down and blood sugar stays elevated longer than it should. Regularly eating Greek yogurt may help keep that system running more efficiently by maintaining healthy calcium levels without the blood sugar risk that comes from sweetened dairy products. According to PubMed, most prospective studies and meta-analyses suggest that regular yogurt consumption is linked to a 14% lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Its probiotic effects may support glucose metabolism, especially in healthy or high-risk older adults. By consuming approximately half a cup of unsweetened Greek yogurt in the morning, you will be able to obtain a substantial amount of these advantages without the presence of additional sugars that may nullify the positive effects. Pair it with a handful of berries or a sprinkle of flaxseed, and you've got a fast, blood sugar-friendly breakfast that tastes great and works harder for your health behind the scenes. 5. Avocado. Avocado might look like a trendy topping, but for someone managing diabetes, it's one of the most functional foods you may add to your breakfast plate due to oleic acid, a heart-healthy monounsaturated fat. This type of fat doesn't just reduce the need for insulin after eating, it also helps your body respond to insulin more efficiently. It improves the fluidity of cell membranes, making it easier for insulin to dock and deliver glucose into cells where it may be used as energy. That means less sugar floating around in your bloodstream and fewer spikes that leave you feeling drained or irritable. For people with insulin resistance, oleic acid supports a smoother and more predictable metabolic response after meals. Furthermore, people often overlook the potassium content of avocados, which is yet another advantage. This mineral helps regulate sodium balance in the body, which plays a big role in blood pressure control. Since high blood pressure is a common concern for people with diabetes, maintaining healthy potassium levels helps ease that pressure on the cardiovascular system. Potassium also supports proper muscle contraction and nerve function, both of which are important for maintaining healthy circulation and preventing diabetic complications. According to Science Direct, avocado consumption was linked to a lower risk of diabetes in women, even after adjusting for other factors. When it comes to breakfast, a smart portion size is approximately half of a medium avocado. This is sufficient to obtain all of the beneficial fats and minerals without exceeding the calorie intake. You may mash it onto sprouted grain toast, blend it into a smoothie, or simply slice it up with a squeeze of lemon. 6. Cottage cheese. A significant portion of cottage cheese is comprised of casein protein, which is one of the most important players in this context. This type of protein digests more slowly than other forms, which helps you feel fuller longer and keeps blood sugar from rising too quickly. But beyond satiety, casein also promotes the release of hormones that regulate glucose uptake in the muscles. When the signaling system functions effectively, glucose has a destination other than your bloodstream, which is ideal for managing insulin resistance or prediabetes. In addition to being an essential nutrient, phosphorus is a component of cottage cheese that is not given sufficient attention. This mineral supports the production of ATP, your body's main energy molecule, which is especially important when your cells are working harder to convert glucose into usable fuel. In people with diabetes, where energy metabolism often gets disrupted at the cellular level, phosphorus helps maintain that conversion process efficiently. Better energy use means your body needs less circulating glucose, and that's a win for your overall blood sugar balance. According to ResearchGate, in men with type 2 diabetes, cottage cheese caused minimal blood glucose rise and significantly boosted insulin response. Depending on your dietary requirements, when it comes to breakfast, a reasonable serving size is approximately half a cup of either low-fat or full-fat cottage cheese. It pairs well with berries, chopped nuts, or even sliced tomatoes for a savory option. 7. Berries. Whether you go for blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries, these little fruits deliver anthocyanin, a pigment that gives them their deep color. But beyond looks, anthocyanins act inside your digestive tract by slowing down enzymes that break down complex carbohydrates. That means glucose enters your bloodstream more gradually, which takes the pressure off your pancreas and prevents sharp spikes. These compounds also help improve the way insulin communicates with your cells, giving your body a better shot at using sugar instead of storing it. Along with that, berries are also rich in vitamin C, but not just for immune support. This antioxidant helps reduce oxidative stress, which plays a huge role in the development of diabetic complications. When blood sugar runs high, it creates free radicals that damage blood vessels and nerves over time. Vitamin C helps neutralize that damage, especially in delicate areas like the eyes, kidneys, and capillaries. It's a simple way to help protect the parts of your body most vulnerable to high glucose over the long run. At breakfast, you should aim to consume approximately half a cup of fresh berries for a healthy portion. You may sprinkle them on Greek yogurt, stir them into oats, or enjoy them plain. According to PubMed, dietary berries like cranberries, blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries may help reduce post-meal blood sugar and insulin spikes, improve glycemic control, and support diabetes prevention, especially in overweight adults and those with metabolic syndrome. 8. Flaxseed meal. Flaxseed meal contains lignans, which are naturally occurring plant compounds that are found in particularly high concentrations. This is one of the most significant advantages. These lignans act as phytoestrogens, which means they help regulate hormones that affect how your body stores fat and responds to insulin. For someone dealing with insulin resistance, lignans offer a stabilizing effect by reducing inflammation in fat tissue and improving how cells take in glucose. This helps lower the need for excessive insulin production, easing the burden on your pancreas while making glucose control more efficient. Additionally, flaxseed meal is also an excellent source of soluble fiber, but what really matters here is how that fiber interacts with digestion. Once consumed, it swells and forms a gel-like texture in your stomach, slowing the release of food into the small intestine. That delay directly affects how quickly sugar enters your bloodstream, giving your body more time to manage it with smaller, more controlled amounts of insulin. This slower absorption means less chance of a blood sugar spike and more stable energy through your morning. According to PubMed, flaxseed may help lower blood sugar and oxidative stress. In animal studies, it reduced the risk of type 1 diabetes and delayed type 2 diabetes, showing promise for diabetes prevention and control. Stick to around 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed meal at breakfast. It's easy to stir into oatmeal, smoothies, or even sprinkle over Greek yogurt. Just make sure it's ground, not whole. Your body can't break down the hard shells of whole seeds to access the nutrients. 9. Unsweetened nut butter. Nut butter might seem like an indulgence, but when it's unsweetened and made from real, whole nuts, it becomes a smart and satisfying breakfast option, especially for people managing diabetes. Arginine, an amino acid that is naturally found in nuts like peanuts and almonds, is one of the most important nutrients that is working in your favor here. Arginine supports nitric oxide production in the body, which helps your blood vessels relax and improves circulation. That's especially important if you're living with diabetes, where blood flow may become restricted over time due to damage in the vascular system. Better circulation means nutrients and insulin may move more freely, helping your body manage glucose with less strain. Moreover, vitamin E is another standout found in unsweetened nut butter, and it plays a protective role you may actually feel over time. This antioxidant defends the cells in your pancreas, specifically the insulin-producing beta cells, from oxidative stress. When these cells are constantly pressured from high blood sugar and inflammation, their function weakens. But with a steady intake of antioxidants like vitamin E, you help preserve their ability to produce and release insulin when you need it most. According to PubMed, a 16-year study of over 83,000 women found that higher nut and peanut butter intake was linked to a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Women who consumed nuts at least 5 times per week had a 27% lower risk, and those who consumed peanut butter at least 5 times per week had a 21% lower risk compared to those who consumed them infrequently by a significant margin. A practical serving size is about 2 tablespoons of unsweetened nut butter at breakfast. Spread it on sprouted grain toast, swirl it into oatmeal, or just enjoy it with a few apple slices. The key is keeping it natural, with no added sugars or hydrogenated oils. Moving on, let's discuss 5 breakfast foods you should avoid if you have diabetes. If you're living with diabetes, the wrong choice in the morning may throw off your blood sugar for the whole day. So let me make it easier for you. 1. Flavored instant oatmeal packets. They may seem like a quick and healthy option, but most flavored oatmeal packets are loaded with added sugars and artificial flavors. That sugary boost hits your bloodstream fast, causing a sharp spike in blood glucose. The processing also strips away much of the fiber that helps slow digestion. 2. White bread or bagels. These are high in refined carbs and low in fiber, which means they digest quickly and send your blood sugar soaring. Even low-fat versions aren't doing you any favors, they're just empty carbs in disguise. 3. Sweetened breakfast cereals. Even cereals labeled as whole grain or heart healthy may be packed with sugar. They cause a rapid rise in blood sugar, and by mid-morning, you're likely to crash and feel hungry again, leading to overeating. 4. Fruit juices. You might think orange juice or apple juice is a healthy start, but these drinks are stripped of fiber and concentrate sugar into a liquid form your body absorbs way too fast. It's basically like drinking liquid sugar, even if it's labeled as 100% juice. 5. Pancakes and waffles with syrup. These classics are high in refined flour and often drowned in sugary syrup. Together, they create a double whammy: rapid carb absorption and a sugar overload, setting you up for a serious blood sugar roller coaster. When I started understanding how specific foods impact different parts of the body, it completely changed the way I looked at breakfast. If you include a mix of these options during your week, you're not just managing your blood sugar, you're actually supporting the deeper systems that keep your metabolism in balance. Trust me, small changes in the morning may lead to big improvements throughout your day. Now that we have discussed the many breakfast foods every diabetic should eat, let's move on to other topics. Are you interested in learning more about healthy foods for your body? Watch 10 health benefits of 1 spoon of honey every day. Or watch 11 health benefits of apple cider vinegar. Watch one, or even better, watch both. What other breakfast foods should diabetics eat? Let us know in the comments below.